Okay, so I will admit to you this. Last year and the year before, I was supposed to teach partial quotient division. And like every other adult who's ever seen this new math stuff, it's not new math, it's just old math in a different way. I will admit to you, I said partial quotient division was the dumbest thing I've ever heard, and I would never waste my students' time with such a stupid thing. At 8:20 this morning, as I'm studying to try to teach this lesson, I went, whoa, I understand this now. And it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. But the thing you have to do is close your eyes. Picture that spot in your brain where long division lives. You know, that terrifying, scary place where long division lives. Put it in a box and lock that box. Take the box you put the long division in, put that in another box and lock that box. And then wrap that box in duct tape so you can't get to it, because you cannot think of this as long division. You have to know this is not a replacement. Long division will work. Long division has always worked. There's a reason why we do long division over and over and over again. It's one of the very few things we don't teach multiple ways to do. We just teach long division, right? But you can open your eyes again, by the way. Partial quotient is the way we think about division in real life. If I'm going to do a project at my house and I know I need to frame a room with trim, right? Trim is the board that goes around the top of the room. And I know exactly how many feet I need. So if I need 118 feet. When I go to Home Depot, I walk into Home Depot, and I'm looking at those trim boards, can I just say, hey, I need 118 feet, or do I need to pick how many boards? Yes. Yeah. If the boards are 8 feet long, what I need to do is go, oh, I need this many boards, right? That's how people do division in real life. You will very rarely see a grown adult person sitting at work being like, I baked 1,942 donuts at the factory today. The donuts go in packages of 6. Okay, I'm going to sit down and do long. No, they're not going to sit down and do long division. But people all over the world, millions of them right now at this very second, are doing division in their head. They're doing division at their job. They're doing division outside of school and not using long division. This is a way, this partial quotient is the way most people do division in their head. And what it is just like we've talked about, we're going to use our tips, tricks, and strategies, and we're going to mess around with this number until we can take 8,912 apart and to see how many 41s are in it. And it's going to look weird at first. Parents, if you're watching this because you're helping with homework, it's going to look really weird at first. But we'll get there. So, hold on to that till we're done. And I'll get you, I promise. Because you want to hear the whole thing first. Because at first it is not going to make sense. By the time we get to about here, almost everybody in this class is going to go, oh, I see it. That's so weird, but I see it. Because that's exactly what happened to me this morning. So, when we did multiple addition to find an answer to a multiplication problem, like 12 times 5 is 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12. Since division is the opposite of multiplication, could we subtract 41 from this number over and over and over and over again and then get the answer if we counted it? Yeah, totally. That's what this number is, right? It's how many 41s we can get out of 8,912? Yeah. I'll tell you, I have to retire in 15 years, so I don't want to do that because it'll probably take 17 years to subtract 41 over and over and over and over and over and over. But because we've got this math toolkit, one of the things that we learned in the beginning of first quarter was, if I do this, that's 10 groups of 41, correct? Yes. Would it be faster for me to subtract in 10 groups? Yeah. Or 100 groups? That's pretty darn close to this number, isn't it? Yeah. Would you rather work harder or work smarter?
Smarter.
Me too. Because we would have to literally subtract this number 100 times. And I need more whiteboard for that. We're like a whole school's worth of whiteboards to work that out. So let's work smarter, and let's take 100 groups of 41 off of this total. Because remember, when we're talking division, we're talking about separating a bigger number into groups. And this number right here is 100 groups of 41. With me so far?
Yes.
Okay, now we're going to subtract. 2 minus 0 is 2. 1 minus 0 is 1. 9 minus 8, or 9 minus 1 is 8. That would be where I made my subtraction mistake when I messed up this video last hour, just so you know. 8 minus 4 is 4. Now, we took away 100 groups of 41. Can we take away another 100 groups
Yes.
out of this number that we've got left over?
Yes.
We're doing kind of the same thing as we're doing in long division, right? We multiply, we see how many groups we can take away, we subtract, we're like, oh yeah, we got extra stuff, we bring down another number. This is just a straight subtracting way to do it. We're doing very little multiplying. So we could totally take away another group of 100, right? Same, 7, 0, nothing. So here's another group of 100. Now, can we take away another group of 100? No. So what do? We got 712 left. Ah, you see it. What is it?
We take away 10.
Yeah. Can we take away a group of 10?
Yes.
We're still working smarter, right? We ran out of hundreds, now we're moving on to tens. 2 minus 0 is 2, 1 minus 1 is 0. 3. For some reason, this Mr.G was talking about showing me this just put a little color to it. It really kind of helps pull it out. So if you're really having struggles with being able to keep up with your counting of these numbers, hit them with a different color, highlight it, underline it with a color pencil, whatever you need to do. This extra color really seems to help. Now, can we take any more groups of 10 out of 302? No, too small. But we're not done because we have more than 41 here, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So what do we do next?
Take ones.
Take ones. I don't want to take just ones, though. That's super boring. What can I do? I like to see all these hands. I like it. Yes, ma'am.
2, because 41 plus 41 is 82.
It would be 82, but I think we could even go higher than 2. The strategy we're going to use here is guess and check, right? We're going to estimate. This is about 300. It's not exactly 300, but it's real close, right?
Yeah.
And 41 is about 40, right?
Yeah.
It's not exactly, but it's real close. So if I count my 40s and get as close as possible to 300, that ought to give me the right answer to multiply and then get exactly what I need, right? Okay, so if 2 is 82, means 4 is 164, right? 82 plus 82 is 164. What did you say? Ballpark it. How many 41s do you think, or how many 40s do you think we can get out of 30? Now remember, since we're estimating and we're just using 40, all you have to do is your 4 multiplication tables and add a 0 to the end. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, then we'd be at 32, right? So we'd have to stick at 28, except for it's in the tens place, so it's 280. If we go higher than that, we're going to go over, right?
Yeah.
So what number was that again?
200.
What are 41 times what?
7.
7. Now, do I 100% know this is going to work? No, but I'm pretty sure. That's your guess and check. You're not 100% sure it's going to work, but you're making a guess that's close enough to see if it'll work. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 4 is 28. I don't think we could get another group of 41 out of there without going. No, we definitely couldn't, right? We're at almost 290 already. 287 is 7 groups. Now we subtract. And we're going to, remember, watch out for those bigger bottoms. We gotta flash it right back to second grade because those bigger bottoms are getting us. Can't take 2 away from 7. Can't borrow from a 0. So we come all the way across, make this a 10. Borrow from the 10, make it a 9. Of course, on a marker board, it's a hot mess over here. Now we're gonna bring that all the way back across. 12 minus 7. Yes, ma'am.
5.
Yes. 9 minus 8.
1.
Yep. Can we take any 41s out of this?
Yeah.
What does that make it?
15.
Well, it's 15 to start with, but what part of the multiplication part? That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Sir.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not part of our, well, it's part of our answer, but it's not the quotient. Quotient is whole groups. Sir.
Remainder.
Yeah. Now, where do we get our quotient from? You see it.
10 plus 7, which is 207.
She's pretty quiet. She says you add 100 plus 100 plus 10 plus 7, because that's how many groups of 41 we took out. The answer is 217. This is very, very different from long division. But will it always work?
Yes.
Yes. It's a different algorithm. It does the same job. Now, I'm not going to tell you we're going to replace long division. But I'm going to tell you, if you like partial product, can you use it as your go-to?
Yes.
Yes. Do you think in school you're going to be asked to do it both ways? Sometimes they're going to ask you to do regular long division. Sometimes they're going to ask you to do partial product.
Yes.
The reason we would teach you 2 ways is because if you're thinking about math as a toolbox, sometimes this tool is going to be easier, sometimes long division is going to be easier. I can tell you using this with a 1-digit divisor is terrible. I can't tell you why, but I can tell you my first hour told me, don't teach them with a 1-digit divisor. It's way too hard.
I can do that easily.
We would hope so. I would think so. I can tell you it will work, but for some reason they said the bigger numbers in the divisor are way easier to do this method, and the smaller numbers in the divisor, it's just easier to just go ahead and do it the regular long division algorithm. Okay, hold 1 second for questions.